Hello, fellow alchemists. Welcome back. I wanted to show something really interesting. So this morning, I did I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm actually on the elixirmix podcast. So if you ever listen to elixirmix, or you're interested in listening to some podcasts about elixir, you can go ahead and subscribe to elixirmix on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, etc. But I'm actually a panelist on elixirmix. And this morning, again, we had a guest, and he came and talked to us about a hex package that he created called, I can't remember exactly how to say this, but I think it's called Knigge, something like that. The word is a German word, and it's talking about, good manners, something like that. Listen to the podcast. He goes on and on about, not on and on, but he goes on about what the meaning of the word is, but it's a German word. But in any case, it's all about how to handle behaviors in Elixir. So I wanted to actually go back and revisit a video I did a while back about how to use behaviors in Elixir and how you have it basically based on your environment. So if you're in test, then you have this kind. If you're in production, you have this kind, dev, and this kind. So how to handle this kind of problem. He created this hex package, and I think it's kind of quite interesting the way that it handles behaviors. And so I wanted to show you guys how to actually use it. It's pretty interesting and also not too difficult to do. It has some runtime configuration you can also use, but in this case, I'm just going to show kind of the default way of how to use it. And let's just go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just replace the way I did it before with this package, and you'll see how it all works. So of course, the first thing that I actually did before this video, which was just install the package. So around this time, it's 1.4. And then finally, we go to the formatter, and we actually have to add in the just something to set up everything. So we add in this Knigge, and we have to say OTP app. So what is our OTP app? Similar to how we do for some other gems. And in this case, mine's called work demo, I believe. So let me just double check. It is called work app, work app. I believe it uses this one in order to pull the configuration. But in any case, so now the next thing we need to do is we just go to our configuration. Now I used to use this formatter. Now there's no need. So what it'll actually do is it'll actually use this atom of the module in order to find it. So you see it uses the OTP app over here plus the name of the module. And then finally I have to also change it in here too for my dev configuration. So default, we're going to use the Western formatter. And for dev, we're going to use the Chinese formatter. And with that, there is one final thing to change, which is in here. There's no longer any need to set the formatter in here. What we can do, and what it does do, is if you just pull in the name of the behavior, it will go ahead and use this. So it's actually going to just go ahead and find this for us. So now if I go into here, this is actually just going to do basically this, but from within the behavior. So now if I call the behavior, so actually first I have to create a employee. So I'm just going to create a simple employee. First name, Joe, last name, Bob. And I use work app.format. And you can see it comes as Bob Joe. Now, the way that works is if you look over here, we're running default dev, right? Is the Chinese formatter. And my Chinese formatter uses the behavior and uses the last name and first name. So the way this all works is that this one will look up your implementation and look up which one you defined based, of course, on the the name of the module plus, of course, the OTP app. And it's going to look for this function on that module that we define within our configuration, and it's going to call that method directly. And to show you that again, I'm going to use the test environment. And so for my test environment, I didn't set anything in the test file, but it's going to use the default configuration, which will be the Western formatter. So then what I can do is I can just go back over here, just copy and paste this, just so I have something quick to work with. And then work app.format. And now it goes Joe Bob. because again, it's going to look into here. So it's look into the config, look up the module, look up the OTP app, get the configuration, use the Western formatter in this case. So it's quite interesting. I mean, it's a little bit, it's not too much different. There is some more things that you can do with this. I think it's kind of nice. It kind of gives a little bit more kind of like, I don't want to say stability, but a little bit more kind of convention that you can follow rather than just kind of following, you know, whatever you put into here. So this is actually kind of cool. I may or may not use this. I have to think about it some more, but I think, you know, I'm interested in how it works. And I kind of like this style of using this format. And I like the way that we could just use the name of the behavior and then the implementation is, you know, kept away from us. We don't really care how it gets done. It gets done. So that's actually kind of cool. So until next time, please subscribe if you haven't. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.